Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
There's another person here. We'll get to that.
So this week we decided we like to do themed weeks when we're on vacation.
If there's two things I know, in the Tom and Dan universe that we love, it's themed weeks and gift bags.
Oh my
You know,
God.
we're no different than any of your standard teachers. We have dress up day every single day. We do
Homecoming week.
themed weeks and gift bags. That's what we do.
Remind me, I got an email from the
Yes,
school
I saw
about
it.
all the
I saw
different 2 weeks of themed weeks. I'll bitch about it.
Yeah,
on
Andrew
Friday.
and I both said absolutely not.
it's
No,
ridiculous.
you will not be doing that. Okay, anyway.
So to kick off the week, we thought that it would be interesting if we brought in a guest to interview us. You know, 'cause
There's nothing more egotistical than bringing in a hired gun. Okay, like interview us and make us look really good. This is like some stuff Elon Musk
No,
does,
I didn't
right?
tell him what questions to ask.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I said ask anything. I said
Yeah,
anything
like,
goes.
yeah.
You know my anything goes policy.
Dan,
Sam knows it.
do you ever
I
get
definitely know it.
Do you ever get tired of pleasing or over pleasing your wife? I should say, Dad.
I didn't even mention the theme. The theme is kind of a chatting with the masters.
Yeah,
interview.
it's nothing new. Trust us, guys.
The
The theme this week is the same.
So to interview us today
Yeah.
is Peter from Scotch and Good Conversations.
Oh.
He almost forgot. His brain stopped halfway through.
Already off
I
to
can
a bad
see it
start.
working. Where's this guy
no,
from?
He was struggling for your
Man, he
name.
struggled to
He's
get
like,
there.
starts with a P, starts with a P, starts with a P.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you
You
what
just
happened.
put a "ter" on the end of it.
Because then I was like, should I go with Peter's full name? But then I was
You don't know how to say his last name. You don't know how to say his
Yeah,
last name.
don't know my
it's
last
Vaughn or something. It's like a vampire name.
Peter Von
T.
Vampire. Welcome
Von
to-
T? No, but it's more. It's a.
Yeah, but just shorten it up. Make it
Welcome
cool.
but that's disrespectful.
From the Orlando podcast, Scotch and Good Conversation, it is Peter Van Vampire.
I'm sorry, Peter.
No, it's a pleasure being in here, and I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was the master for a second. I was like, I've been around for 7-8 years of doing whatever it is I do. I was like, they're gonna have me come in. I'm gonna be celebrated.
Oh, no,
yeah.
that's
We're putting you to work.
that's an accidental D-head move.
No.
Where we invite you in, and then we're like,
Get to work.
you interview us instead of the other.
He's so
I-
old.
You
now,
do the work for us.
now
Yeah.
I see how that is an
It's
accidental
like
D-head
we
move.
invite EJ in, and we're like, you're the before picture.
Yeah. I've had this happen to me when someone hands me, or when someone's like, "Hey, do you mind taking a picture?" And then I start smiling to like lean in, and they're like, "Nah," they hand me their phone.
Of me and my wife.
I'm like, "Oh."
Oh.
All right, so Peter is in charge now. So whenever you're ready,
Okay.
I guess you hand it over to Peter, and then he's going to chat us up good.
Now, before we start, Peter, how many interviews would you say you've done throughout the years
I think
of
he
Scotch
knows.
and Good
You probably know,
Conversation?
right?
I've had a couple other podcasts too that have died.
Ah.
I'm guessing close to 500. I just did 400 with Dan and Owen from the Ono Radio Show. And
Okay.
that was 2 weeks ago. I put out 401 last week. So I kind of lost count also at
It's
this
a
point.
lot.
So it's a lot. Yeah.
It's
And
more than a few.
now, I don't know if you need any advice, but I'm going to give it to you.
Are we going to have time for this?
I thought he was interviewing for you guys.
No.
There's
I just
nothing I
want
love more than inviting people to come over, and then they sit there quietly as we tell them how to do it, and then they leave confused and drive home. And I'm
They're like, what just happened?
And then
What
I
was
look at
that?
Tom and I go, "Great job, buddy. Great job."
See,
Keep up
You
the good
did
work.
it again.
When I'm doing
Hit me,
interviews,
master. Go.
I must, probably over 10,000 interviews. I was, I mean,
With you, I would say one interview feels like 1,000, right?
I like to ask the person I'm interviewing because I already know.
You're not interviewing him.
Okay.
No.
You
I'm
know
just
what
telling
you're
Give
him.
me advice.
that-
Oh,
If you were
Telling me
asking-
how to interview.
If you were asking Peter a question, you would ask the question, circle back around to make sure you plugged any leaks, then answer the question, circle back around to
Yeah.
disagree with what you just answered.
yeah, it's all a circle. See, you got to make
Yeah.
it all when you start asking a question. Then
Yeah.
you
circle back around to plug leaks.
Because I already know the answer to the question I'm asking. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obvious. Anything that I ask, I already know the answer, and so I like to
Sure.
work the answer into my question
only-
to let the audience know I already know it.
I only ask people questions.
What?
I
have no idea what you
I'm
just
with him 100%. I only ask people questions to make sure they are who they say they are. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know what they're going to say. saying. Like, I know what they do. Like, oh, taxidermy. What do you do? I know what you do, but I want to know if you know what you do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Then I learned this from the dumbest person I know. Is then you say, what would you say if a person said this?
Yeah.
And then
It throws them off the scent that it's actually you. It throws them off the scent.
Yeah.
Foolproof.
But it doesn't at all because it's obvious
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Peter, you can go ahead. Sorry. No.
Peter, you may begin.
I am so confused by whatever advice you were just giving.
Well, that's
me.
no, that's another trick.
Yeah.
You confuse the person
Yes.
so they don't know what the hell.
You confuse the person with your advice to keep them on their toes.
I ain't listened to any of that.
That's another thing.
Why are you trying to sabotage my podcast?
So you already know. All right.
Okay, you figured us out. We brought you here to confuse you.
Yeah, it's scare me away from podcasting for the rest of my life.
All right.
I just decided, you guys said I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And because I only do one thing because I'm afraid of change, I just decided to do sort of a Scotch and Good Conversation style interview.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go
yeah,
first.
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
no, your name's on first.
No,
You should go
no.
first.
Well, let Daniel go first.
Okay,
ladies
Dan.
first. We can go Sam first.
Well, you guys had a weird weekend.
Yeah,
And
we did.
and you covered it on the BDM show. So we won't get into that. But what I want you to do, Dan, is look directly to the right of you. The person to the right of you, that'd be Tom, in case you don't know.
Okay.
That's the left of him, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's
It's to my right.
Yeah,
It's to my right.
Well, when you turn that way, he is.
Yeah.
Give him a compliment about his job and what he does
Oh
well
my
here.
God.
Oh, that's easy.
See, I knew it would be easy
I give
for
him
you.
compliments
Well,
all
this
the
is
time.
going to make Tom uncomfortable.
I give him
I know,
compliments all the time.
it's the
but he
reason
won't
I
look
did
me in
it.
the eyes. I'm looking you in the eyes. Right now, I'm looking you in the eyes. You work so hard for the business aspect of this business, and I know you give 100% all the time, and I appreciate the fact that your true dedication to what we do here, I know it will never fail because you'll never allow it, and I appreciate that.
He was just wiping eye boogies out of
That was
his
crying. He's crying. He's crying.
I made him cry.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I made him cry. You just asked the question, and I told you how to ask the question earlier.
Well, the thing about failure is that sometimes, even if you think you'll put your foot down and like, I'm not going to let this fail, like, it just failed. And then you're like, oh.
Can't be stopped.
Yeah. It's like standing in front of an avalanche. You put your hands out.
Well, you got to do it so everybody sees it, but you'll do nothing.
Okay,
Why'd
Tom,
you do that, Peter?
Because I knew it would make you uncomfortable.
Oh.
Tom gives Samantha a compliment about her job performance, and
Okay.
she deserves it. She's keeping this whole ship up.
All
I'm very aware of that.
All right.
Sam is very. I'm never worried about Sam ever dropping the ball. You
would
know,
agree with
like
that.
she's very trustworthy, and I feel like she has the work ethic to not allow herself to slack off or screw something up. If like she'll never. I mean, everybody makes mistakes here every once in a while, here and there, but it's never like something where she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna leave without this getting done," or "I'm just gonna ignore this," even though if she
Too much
knows,
paranoia for that.
yeah.
She'd never let that happen.
It's the paranoia.
Wait a minute,
that
is my compliment that I'm paranoid?
yeah, because that's what fuels you always thinking about, like what am I missing? What
I
have to
forget to
do?
do this?
Yeah, did I forget to do this?
Help! Help!
Yeah. There was other people that used to work here, not paranoid at all.
They should have been, though. High all the time.
not worried about forgetting things or whatever. Like,
Charity soccer balls.
waking up on time.
You accidentally said the funniest thing you've ever said. You're right. That guy was never paranoid about anything.
Yeah. And that's
What a way to live.
What causes you to forget to show up, forget what day it is.
No, there is urgency. Like she
Forget whose text you're reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so
All right.
Samantha, Dan, please.
Whoa, all right.
A compliment about his job performance?
Yes, about
Yeah.
work here.
I would say almost the same thing as not paranoia as much as
Well, different kind. It's there.
yeah, I guess it is there, but we'll always make sure he has everything right. Before you got here, we talked about how he has all these different backup plans, how he never loses I've lost files on my own show.
I try not to.
Pretty much, being a perfectionist and trying to put out the best quality product for listeners, even when it's to the detriment of his own mental health.
That's true. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. That's very nice.
Okay, real quick, Dan gives Samantha a
Compliment.
I get double
All right, so look,
compliments.
this guy's
All
trying to.
right.
This guy's trying to.
Everybody's
You can't
getting
fix
double.
it all in one night.
Yeah.
I will give Samantha a better work.
Not about
I wanted to compliment her boobs.
I knew that was coming.
I
wanna
want to
say
say our
it.
business partners because that's the first joke I originally thought of.
So easy. Yeah, I'll just try to think of something different, right? Because I don't want to say the same thing.
Exactly. See?
Yeah, I'm going to say that I very much like the fact that she's a self-starter and there are things that I don't have to say that she will do. She'll just like see me struggling with something and then she'll like handle it, which is great.
That sounds like the perfect employee. I need some of those.
Well, we had that was the biggest thing I would look for in an intern, and I looked for it in Samantha, and there were only a handful of interns I ever had that were self-starters, and Ed Tilt said that I was one of those, and I kind of feel like that's like a really good quality to have. I try to get Maisie to do this. You don't want to be a know-it-all, and you don't want to like jump in if you don't know what you're doing, but if you do know what you're doing, not being told but then executing it still is very important. Like if you just see it, and you're like, well, I'm going to get this done without being told, that's pretty awesome.
Now, can we say the insults now?
No, I was going to go that route also, but trust me, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Samantha, Tom?
Tom is one of the hardest working people I know. Now, he may not do everything the correct way, but he
Right.
damn sure will try and get anything done
yeah.
that he can in his power.
He's like a real dedicated bag boy.
We joke a lot about him yelling.
He's
I'm
good.
back in the gun.
We joke a lot about him yelling "get to work,"
Yeah.
but he is the person that never stops working. Now, again, I don't know if that's great for his mental health
it's
or
not.
his family.
No.
But it is good for
It's real
his
bad.
job.
Now, I'll crush your bread every day. But I'm back in the gun.
They drop him off in the morning. Maybe he's the first one off the bus.
And,
Last one. Yeah, first one off the bus, last one back on the bus before you go back to the center.
obviously, Dan,
Yeah.
the guy you've known for a good
sorry.
chunk of your life, you've been in business with him. Tell him something good he's done in the business.
So Daniel will always. There is no length that he won't go to for a joke. Whether it's self-deprecating, whether it's making fun of the people he loves the most, whether it's making
That's
fun.
not a good one. He'll make fun of his dad. Mom, he'll make fun of his
I like that he has no boundaries.
That's good for a comedy show, right?
I mean, it is good for the show.
Yeah. I mean, if you're working with someone in a business which is
because none of it
great
matters. 'Cause
comedy content.
I don't think that stuff matters. It's
Yeah.
like my dad and mom's a whore, and so is your dad. Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just words. It's not how because it's not how I feel.
Right.
There's never anything that I'm worried about Daniel getting offended by.
No.
Or jokes that.
But I feel hard. Like I get a lot of feelings, but I'm not truly offended or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand where the feelings come from. I'm not that dense.
Which is super beneficial, especially when we've been doing this show for 15 years, and you never have to worry about like hurting Daniel's feelings, or after the show, him calling me in and be like, "Hey, can you close that door? I want to talk to you about something said on the show." That's never happened.
No.
Like, to either of us, we never like said like, "Hey, we went too far on the show. This joke."
I don't
was-
think people know that. Like, I don't know if we've ever said that. The meetings that we've had with other people here, we have never had a point in time in our relationship ever, in I'll just say 30 years of our relationship, there's never been a time where there's something gone wrong, and we've disagreed on things, and we've gotten mad at each other. Well, not really mad, just irritated, or been up. I think we spend too much time together sometimes, and it makes us irritated at each other because we are different humans. But you've never, ever said anything where I've gone home and I've looked at Andrea and been like, I can't do it. This guy's so mean to me. Like, no, it's just...
Yeah.
There's been no issue there.
And
ever.
there's like even like Sam's apologized like, "Hey, I'm sorry if I went too far." Like,
Well, that's because I was listening to the negative comments of
No,
people
yeah.
saying I was the worst human being in the
Well,
world.
no, but
No,
you've
and
said
then what
that
did I
even
say? I
before
was like-
then. You've
I
been
didn't
very
even-
cognizant of things you've said. It said like, hey, was that okay? And like we
Yeah.
all do that.
yeah, and
Because again,
it's never
just
not
like
been
Dan
okay.
said,
Not how
the
you feel.
things that we say on this show are not necessarily how we feel in real
They're
life.
ridiculous.
They're
That's podcasting.
exaggerated
Exactly.
entertainment.
Yep.
It seems like, though, and not to sound like dumb old man, but I do feel like people had a foot in like theater and like make believe a little bit more back in the day. It seems like we could appreciate
Agreed,
it more.
yes.
Like theater. Like this is like, I do not think anything but beautiful thoughts about the passing of my mother. And there is not a human on the planet that I adore more than Maisie. Would kill myself right now to save her. Like that's not even a question. But I will make fun of
jokes
those
about it.
things because I think it's funny.
Because everything is funny, though. Like,
Can be.
Absolutely. I mean, there should be no limits in comedy. And you guys obviously prove that time and time again. Please take that as the compliment.
Thanks.
It is.
We'll take our flowers. We're
want-
not as relevant anymore,
Now,
though, and it's grinding us.
I will
to a
say
halt.
everything I've ever said on the show has had a percentage of truth.
truth in it.
Yeah.
It could be very small, but it's
it's there.
never been a
Yeah,
complete lie.
we're not blatantly lying.
Yeah. Like when I called Daniel an M-word. I mean,
I know. I know what I
sorry.
am. I know.
All
what
right,
I
who
am.
wants to go first on the personal questions?
Tom?
Tom? All right. Tom,
Whoa! I just volunteered him.
you know.
Well, you went first on the last one, so.
Oh, that's true.
What world record are you sure you hold, but you have no proof of it?
Oh, I thought about this.
Why have you got I would.
Like
I
the
literally.
Roman Empire. Like Peter asked that. Tom's like, I've been waiting for this question.
I
my
wouldn't even
entire
know
life."
how to answer this.
Do you see how excited he got? I think you're his new best friend. I've never asked him anything that got him that excited. He's rubbing his forehead. He's super stoked.
It's like, oh, I have so many thoughts.
All of them.
He came awake all of a sudden.
I'm not
He's
joking.
got a boner.
Now I got so excited that my mind went blank because I was literally thinking about this the other day.
Okay,
'cause
what world record do you hold, but you have no proof that
Okay.
you hold the record?
Yeah. Okay, so I think some of like the scooter jumps I've done,
Okay.
the Hummer jumping scooters over Hummers.
Yeah.
You know, even though I didn't land it, I landed in boxes. I've never seen that done anywhere
No.
else on the internet,
No.
which it could be a loose world record. And God, I was thinking about one with the show and not the old radio days the other day about.
Was it a stunt or was it just broadcasting?
It was God. I wish I would have wrote it down because I was like, I don't think this has ever been done by anybody, and it was like something specific. If you narrow things down, you can start really whittling it down to like, okay, this is probably this specific thing has never been done.
Yeah.
Is
Is there one that you've wanted to do?
Oh, well, a show world record I think that's never been done. I just thought about it literally 5 minutes ago. Was
Well, that's weird because we've been recording for 17.
I knew he wasn't here.
I don't think there's been another.
When you were complimenting him, he zoned out.
I don't think there's been another terrestrial radio show that has been on the air for as long as a corporate time that has changed their intro every single show.
Oh, that's a good one,
Yeah,
actually.
Like, every intro of every single show has been different.
Modeled after The Simpsons.
Yeah. Like, I know-
Stolen from The Simpsons.
Like obviously the Simpsons have done it longer than anybody, but the like a
I always thought
terrestrial
it was
radio
cool.
show.
You know, it's mirrored after. This is funny because it like becomes into like an origin tale. So that is mirrored after both The Simpsons and there's one other big entertainment luminary that inspired that, and it was the new version of The Tonight Show when Conan O'Brien took it over. And the way that they do it, the band would come in and start playing, and while the music was playing, the announcer or Andy Richter at the time would say, "Tonight on the show, we've got." Like Mr. T. I don't know why I said Mr. T. But really dating myself. But you know what I mean? Like they would give the list of tonight on the, or they'd say like Tonight Show entitled "What Happens in the Dark." And I always liked the fact that they gave it like sort of a retro, old radio, old television style. Like here's what's coming up next, and you're gonna love it. Like I've always kind of liked that. The showmanship aspect of it, and I think you do too. Maybe not so much on the imaging side, but like we both don't like the new style of broadcasting where it's like lazy. We very much like the old showmanship of like we're here to perform and we're gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Like I like the
You gotta dance.
yeah. I'm here to do some tap dancing for you, and then get out there and vote. Like I like the
Yeah. Give it 100%.
yeah. I don't like the like I'm not cool. I'm just a guy. But yeah. Anyway.
Sam, I'm going to go ahead and just take
Okay.
control.
Please, yeah, do your thing.
Upon your death, you find out that your life is like a simulation.
Oh, I already think that.
And
He knows
He almost spit out his water.
This guy's all over. This guy's figured us out.
Okay.
But they're keeping
Okay.
tabs on like statistics on everything, and you get access to one statistic. Anything you want, what are you going to ask, and what are you going
Any
to look up?
statistic in the world or about myself?
About yourself, about how you've lived your life.
Oh, this is a hard question.
That's what we do.
God, yeah, that is.
They can't all be stupid.
Yeah. Like one particular statistic about what you've done throughout your life.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I would either ask how many smiles I've given, like given
To other people,
yeah,
or that you
or how many smiles I've had made other people have, and there might be a how many orgasms I had.
Yeah.
All right.
Low key horny. I like that, Peter. Nice job.
Yeah.
Low key.
Smiles and orgasms. Weird.
I don't think in numbers or statistics like that. This is more of a Tom question.
I read you so wrong. I really thought you'd be like jump all over this.
No, I don't. I have no idea how to answer this.
I mean, if it's smiles I've given, is too many the answer? I mean, it's countless, Peter. Countless smiles.
Oh, how many times have I almost been killed?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
where you
yeah.
Or
almost,
assaulted in some type of
or a
way. Because I
bus-
have been assaulted, but
Yeah.
how many times did I nearly escape it?
or a bus almost hit you and you just happen to not be there.
That's right.
Like
yeah.
your spidey.
One mistake away, like one choice away from either dying,
Yeah.
I like that.
Like every time you look.
escaped fate.
Yeah. Like down a dark alley, and then you're like, I'm not walking there.
Yeah.
And then.
Or maybe a rapist or somebody looked at you and said, nah, I'm running late. And he
yeah,
gets back in his car. Starts driving
Or
to,
like
where
narrowly escaped.
It's probably going to be more than you think too, because it probably
Nah,
happened.
that's probably about accurate.
But there's been times when you didn't even know that if you stepped off the curve a different direction, you would have got
Yeah.
hit by a bus.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like how many like times you could have died
Yeah.
if one false move.
Right.
You know what would be a sketchy one for me to know, just knowing how my brain works? Because I'm almost falling into a trap of giving myself a metric that I shouldn't have access to.
Oh.
Like, what if I just said, I blurted it out? If it's like the genie saying, what metric do you want, Dan? And I go, how many people truly hate me?
You
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then they'd be like, 72. And I'd be like, it's too many. Help! Help!
Yeah, asking.
Right?
It's like asking the genie how many days left you have to live.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never
You
do
never
that.
wanna
Don't
know.
ever do that. That's not
Yeah.
information you need.
Yeah.
Or
Some people like that because then they're like, well, I know that I'm going to die on this day.
so you know to live your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Live like you're dying.
Yeah. Because
and then you can go crazy that
Yeah, a
last week.
bull named Fu Mayan Chu.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people think they have a lot longer than they actually do. Like
I don't. I think the opposite.
Oh, yeah,
I-
because people are like, oh, you're still young. It's
Every
like, well,
morning-
you never know when you're going to die.
I wake up every morning. I wake up. I feel my hips. I'm like, oh, I made it again. I was like, okay.
Well, even the average human lifespan's like what is it, 76 for male, or 72 for male, or something.
coming in
You know,
for a
it's like
landing. Oh my God.
mid 70s is the average.
Oh my God!
You know,
I'm
so that's
Baldwin
not
Park
that
Ric
big.
Flair. I don't have long. I don't
73
have
and a
long.
half for men in the U.S.
73 and a half.
That's not that old.
my
you know,
God.
I am so close to my death. I
I
am
know,
so
that's what it
very
feels
close
like.
to my death.
you gotta live like you're dying.
Yes, bull named Fu Manchu. I said
Dan.
yes.
Afternoon Delight by the Starland Vocal Band,
Yes.
or Pina Colada, the Escape, the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes.
Okay, so people are going to drag me for this, but it's got to be Rupert Holmes.
Okay, like that I was going to say, which
Yeah.
one do you keep?
I like.
Yeah.
I like it. I know so many people hate that song, but I like that song because isn't that song about like curated infidelity in the newspaper? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always enjoyed that song. I've always enjoyed the aspect of like he put an ad in the paper because he wants to cheat on his girlfriend, and his girlfriend puts an ad in the paper because she wants to cheat on him, and then they both answer the ad, and then they go there, and then it's like, it's you.
They wind up together.
Yeah.
It's a love story.
Yeah, it really is
It's
a love
a terrible,
story.
terrible, terrible love
They
story about
wanted
cheating.
They were going to cheat on each other, but they found out that they just needed to have an open relationship conversation about how he wanted a dirty Sanchez, and, whatever, like something spicy.
we all do.
Put
Yeah.
the wig on, and she didn't like. And then they meet at the bar. I feel like though, if that happened in Florida, it'd be like domestic abuse, right?
Yeah. Well, you'd be mad.
You'd be mad.
You'd be
Yeah.
like, what? You were gonna
You were going
cheat
to cheat on me. I hate you
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Tom,
on me?
what foolproof business plan would you put into place if you were forced to move to a town of 12,000 people or less?
No, I got this. Well, here's what I know.
I
about
knew you
business.
did.
is I would go with things that people get addicted to. That's where the business is at.
Yes.
Big Pharma knew. And they're like, what kind of pills do we make that people will do anything for?
So what are you going to do?
Well,
You got to do Wegovy.
Well, you can't, you can't do anything illegal because of that. You
can do
that's
CBD.
too easy.
CBD?
Well, CBD doesn't work. He's not addictive enough. Like you got to go like sugar. You got to go like
nice.
like
Cupcakes.
caffeine.
Cupcakes.
Like so any.
Ooh, like those Panera drinks that are killing people.
Like here's Starbucks realized this, and every fast food place that exists is like sugar, fat, caffeinated drinks.
Sugar and fat, that's where it's
Yeah,
at.
is that humans are addicted to this stuff, and they'll keep
we
showing
chase
up.
chemicals, man.
Yeah. So I'd go into the chemical business of addiction, and that. So because in a small town, then there's going to be a percentage of people that that can't help themselves and will keep coming back for.
Can I jump on board this one real quick?
Sure, why not?
I
No
just
rules.
feel like there's a part of me that feels like if this ever fizzles out, and it's scary sometimes. And I think about it and I go, if this fizzles out, I would go away for like 3 months, nobody see me, wipe the slate clean, reemerge, lifestyle guru.
Okay, all right.
Because
Like a cult leader?
no, I'm not. But I can get people. I think I have enough chirping in me to get people to believe that I know what I'm doing. And I can get people to like help them. I'll just give them some podcast lies and tell them how they're going to be superstars and help them with that. And they'll pay me tons of money. And then when it doesn't work, I'll just be like, I guess you don't have that X factor.
Yeah.
Or something.
You're going
You
to
know
need
what I
to
mean?
grow your beard longer. You need some robes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
like I could be like a coach or a guru, because that's really big right now. I know a ton of different people within this city right now that are like, they just have other people under them that just ask them for their advice, and they're like a mentor, and they're just making
life
bank.
coaches.
Yeah, and I think I could do that because none of these people have it figured out. None of these people are good at what they do.
No one has it
You
figured
just
out.
gotta be a
No.
good talker, yeah.
No one does.
Oh, I got another one.
Charming.
People in small towns love flags.
Yes.
And I'd be a flag salesman.
Flags. Tom's flags.
Yeah. They love flags.
Vans flags.
Yeah, and I'd take their hero.
Vans All-American flags.
What about Vanners?
No.
Vanners.
nice.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
No, well, more of flags of Trump
Ooh.
dressed like Rambo.
Made in China, Trump dressed like
or
that.
a snake,
Yeah.
the yellow. Don't try to be a lot of that.
A lot of Punisher
Rambo,
logos.
Trump, and snakes. That's where the money's at.
Samantha,
Uh-oh.
you're friends with a couple, right?
Okay.
And
They would have played tag, freeze tag.
you,
Or Marco Polo.
you find out that the female is sabotaging her birth control to get pregnant.
my God.
The male doesn't know this.
Damn, Peter coming correct with the questions today.
Do you tell the male?
I would talk to the female first and tell her to come clean. If that doesn't work, I would tell the male.
Would you really?
Yeah.
That's
Whoa,
a rough discussion.
You'd interject yourself in the business?
or I would take myself completely out of the friendship.
I
They're
take
just not
myself out.
friends
Yeah,
anymore.
I
Yeah,
usually-
I would do
usually-
that.
I usually just put my
I mean,
hands up.
but I can't stay a friend
Yeah.
with someone that's going to
It's just mean.
essentially
Yeah.
potentially change someone's entire life because they're lying to them with a human being.
I
as
homer,
well.
I homer right into the bushes.
Yeah.
Tiny homer,
Yeah.
right? He's gone.
But what if it ends up like the person didn't know that they wanted kids, but then like years later they're the happiest they've ever been, and it could end up good.
But
You
it
know?
could end up bad too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but, you
For
know,
everybody, the kid, the society.
If you saw me, if you drove by here one day, like you were going to do something, and you saw the lights on the studio on, and you saw my car here, and for whatever reason you just dropped, let's say you were dropping by to get your wallet because you left it here.
Yeah.
And you came in and you caught me in here, not doing anything, but just sitting on the couch with like a hot girl or whatever, something like that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to leave it alone and never address her? You're going to say something to me?
Oh, I'm
Real talk.
See, and it also depends on how close you are with the person in the couple relationship, right? Am I closer to the female or the male?
He's closer to Andrea, I can tell you that right now, because
No.
they're both logical cheap
No,
asses. They don't
no.
spend any money.
Here, what am I going to talk to you about? I know why you did it. Again, I know
You're not
the
going to text
answer.
me. You're not going to text me and be like, "What you doing in there, buddy?" Or you wouldn't. I would. If the shoe were on the other foot, if you were on the couch sitting with a girl, I would text you and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, well, I know,
I'd be
yeah.
like, "Oh, you pumping? You eating it?" I'd be all over the place.
Well, yeah, you want to know the details.
Yeah, but you'd keep your mouth shut. You wouldn't say a word.
No,
You'd
yeah.
drive home in silence, act like you never saw anything. You'd be stabbing your eyes out.
Yeah. Too much work to.
He would push it out of his brain.
He would. He's an excellent compartmentalizer, and I'm not. That's why I have no coping skills. That's why I like alcohol. It's because, like, when stuff's bothering me, it's like way easier to drink it away than it is to actually deal with it. So
How I spent the last year.
yeah,
Dan.
man. Yes.
This might be your last question, just so you know.
When you're at the movies and you're squeezing by to get in the seat,
Oh, God.
do you give the people in the seats before your butt or your crotch?
You know, that's a great question, and I do both.
I go to the bathroom
You
and give
shimmy
them
back
the
and
other.
forth?
No, it's funny. I think, and I asked Andrea this.
Which would you prefer?
When I'm getting in the seat, I go crotch to them. When I'm getting out of the seat, I go ass to them.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because you stand
It
up
does,
with your butt, and you,
but it's
that makes sense.
also hyper disrespectful. It's like
They get a piece of each.
I'm giving them everything.
No, you always go butt to the face.
No, I like going crotch. I just think it's
Well,
funnier.
then you're looking at
No, I'm a crotch
No,
guy.
like follow
Yeah.
me. If I'm coming in, right, and you're there, I'm coming in like this. I'm coming in front ways. And then when I'm leaving, I'm coming out like this.
Yeah. You know, your logic is sound. I'm just saying.
Hey, he's never said that.
I also like the fact that you march in and out. Also,
I don't want to look at the person while I'm inconveniencing them.
You look down at their feet. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, you look down?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you look down at their feet so you don't stomp their feet and you don't knock over their beer.
I did have a person the last time because we were sitting upper bowl for Blink. Remember that?
Yeah.
And when I was getting in and out of the seat, they were not. People were
Irritated?
telling. They were like, "Enough is enough. Come on, man. How many times you got to pee?" You know, like that sort of thing. And I'm like, "Uh-oh."
all right. Last question.
Yes, sir.
And this is how I. It's one of the things that I ask on Scotch and Good Conversation to all my guests, and this is so self-serving because the whole podcast is self-serving to me. I'm gonna go Sam first. I think you know me, and you know my dumpster fire every year.
Okay.
Give me some life advice to give
I'm
to make my 2024 a more complete and fulfilling year.
Well, don't focus on the negativity, right? That's number one. And stay focused on things that you think will benefit you and make your life better. Whether that is personal life with friendships, relationships, whatever, or if that's something you want to do as far as your career or a hobby, just something to make your life more fulfilling and that you have to look forward to.
Okay, I'll
Because
take it.
life is hard.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna go Dan next.
Okay, a piece of life.
Hold on, wait a minute,
Oh,
because
Yeah.
I had a major life change, and somehow you figured this out about this time last year, and you were like, "Are you okay, buddy?" And I was like, "No, I am not
well,
okay."
I'm an empath. When people when I pick up on that stuff,
Yeah.
and then people know that I pick up on that stuff, so I think I naturally.
I mean, I was probably it was probably all over my sleeve. I was wearing it just out
You
in
were.
front of everybody, shy of saying
Yeah.
this thing happened.
Yeah, you were sad.
But you, first of all, thank you.
No worries, man. My
you
pleasure.
you said you want to come have some beers, and I
Yeah.
spilled all the beans. So give me a piece of life advice.
I don't know. I think for me, I'll give you the same advice I'm trying to work on with myself now. Respect your emotions, and they're great because they're superpowers. But
Ooh, that's good.
don't. Well, that's stolen from Kanye.
Okay.
But don't.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is bad. But don't be beholden to them. You know what I mean? Like, don't let them control you. Tom's really good about this. You know, like he's you hear it a lot in football. And Trevor Lawrence was talking about it last night with the coach of the Jaguars. I forget the guy's name, but he's got a good vibe. I like that dude. Peterson? Doug Peterson?
Yeah,
Doug?
yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah. That guy is just Trevor Lawrence says never get too high, never get too low, right? I feel like that's some place that I would like to try it. I
I'm
don't know
working
if
on
it's
it.
possible with
Yeah.
me because I'm a pretty high-strung, neurotic dude. But as long as I'm shooting for it, I feel like, and I think it's more beneficial. But
And don't beat yourself up if you get it wrong, because tomorrow's another day.
well, you're gonna
That's
get
right.
it wrong.
Yeah, I know exactly. You're
Give
never gonna get
yourself
it right.
grace.
Yeah,
Yep.
just accept
Grace
it.
is a great word. Tom, life advice. Hit me.
Oh, here we
Well,
go.
first-
Here's how
I
you
can't-
make.
I can't
He's
wait.
gonna tell you how to make money.
Give him the tough one.
I could use that.
First, I hate Grace.
Fair.
Because how is that supposed to make you know make you better. Like beat yourself up every day, every
That's what
mistake you
Arnold
make.
says. Get the work.
Yeah. Like if you make a mistake, don't let yourself get out of being accountable for it. Like dwell in it and be mad at yourself.
Wallow in it.
Yeah. And then because that way you won't make it again.
That's true.
But I guess if I got a piece of podcasting advice, which is kind of, since you're a podcaster as well, it ties in. And I thought about this the other day too, is that if you're a podcaster out there, so Peter and anybody listening.
Most of them are gone. At
The
least local ones. The local ones.
the
The national ones are it's just the most famous people in the world are podcasting.
Don't look at your download numbers.
I haven't done that in about a year.
Because what good does it do? Because is it going to make you better? I would say no. Because if it's not what you think you want them to be, then you're going to start doubting yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then
changing your show.
And then thinking you need to change something, whatever. And the only thing you have is you being truthful and you being yourself. If you try to act like, people pick up on that. Listeners, especially audio only, like they pick up on every, like they know when you're lying. They know you're not being genuine.
Sure.
And when you're not being genuine, then it's almost unlistenable. People
true.
Like
true.
People want the truth. They want you telling the truth, or at least your truth, or
they're
whatever,
invested.
being real.
You also look at it like an energy exchange, right? If you're like, they're spending time listening to your show, right? So they're putting something into it. You almost, as a broadcaster, I've always thought that you owe it to them to, give them something genuine back.
Yeah.
Something that's real of yours. That's why I try to email everybody back too.
So all you could do is the best job and really what you like the best is going to be the best for your listeners, because
they're like you.
They're going to be like you,
Hopefully.
Now, this doesn't really pertain to like podcasts about like information or the news or something. Like I feel like you probably can get better at like, telling people the news or telling people gambling information or whatever.
I think a lot of Peter's show is based around your personality and your likes. I think it's like
it's an entertainment show.
This is not a knock.
Absolutely.
You'll know what I mean.
It's the most selfish thing I've ever done. I've always said that.
I've always liked the fact that Peter, because I wouldn't do this. I never approached our show like that. I was always like, let's get the interviews that everybody wants to see. Peter doesn't do that. Peter's like, I'm just going to interview the folks that I want to interview, and I respect that. I think that's pretty cool.
It's going to be better interview because you're
actually interested in it.
Passionate.
I've been so lucky. I've reached the point where I've interviewed a lot of my heroes. And
that's awesome.
Get to spend an hour
what
talking
is
to
it
somebody.
Like sitting here with us?
Do you ever get,
right now?
Do you ever get nervous for the interviews?
Yeah.
Is there anybody you've been like, I don't know if I want to reach out to this person because I don't know if I'll have like a fanboy
huge
moment?
Names.
I
right?
had Tommy Stinson from The Replacements on. And he was in Guns N' Roses for 16 years, which I actually don't even care about. Like, I care, obviously. That's kind of cool.
I mean, having Axl's number in your phone is kind of
but
cool. But
I fanboyed so hard. And then he said, well, I was supposed to get a half an hour.
Yeah.
And he said, I got 15 minutes because I got to go pick up my daughter at the bus stop. And I was like, how can I?
Right.
You're
not going to say no.
And then he walked outside to smoke a cigarette during it, and he saw a dog and just got totally sidetracked. I'm like, Tommy, come back.
What's that dog?
We had a guy call us from outside of a pub. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now,
we had Jerry Only for the Misfits one time. He put some high school kid on the phone. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
He was doing an interview, and then he went downstairs out of his bus. He was lifting weights and called us back. He's like, I'll call you back after I'm done lifting the weights.
Now, I will tell you, Peter, that the people that I interviewed that I really were like fans of, like let's say like
who's your favorite?
Travis Pastrana, which
right.
it's funny because I listened back to it recently because I wanted to play it for
Never
best
listen
of.
back. Don't listen back.
And
it's terrible.
And then I heard I was like,
did you not like it?
You
No.
felt cringed out.
I felt cringed.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was almost better for me not to interview him because I knew too much about his life, and then therefore I didn't I'm asking questions that may not be good for people that don't know that much about Travis.
Yeah, but I bet he liked those questions better.
That's exactly what I do. I asked PR
Because
people
they're not
will
the
go.
same old questions.
PR people go, can you ask this, this, and this? And I'll go, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'll just take and dump that and ask the questions I want. And then I ask the person I've talked to, are you okay with this? And if the PR people have come back to me, which has happened from time to time, it's like they said they were okay. They signed off on this. I'm going to put it out.
Yeah.
And no one's ever hit me up like to take it down. So Knock on wood.
You know, it's funny. Like sometimes those PR people, they don't even represent what the artist even wants.
I know.
Like it's funny. We were going to interview Riff Raff. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
told this story.
That's fun.
but they
I thought it would be
would've been
amazing.
fun.
I mean, because the guy is so ridiculous,
Yeah.
right?
But the PR Riff Raff's publicist or whatever was like, don't ask him anything. What did he say? Like, or
We can only ask about the music.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'm totally not asking about the
Yeah,
music.
because-
I don't
like-
even think. But then we looked
We
up.
were like, what else? What are we gonna ask him about?
Yeah, like about.
Hey, how
old,
do you
Ask him
come up with your
the
song?
crotch butt question. That's
Well,
a
no,
great
then,
one.
Then we saw him.
I wanted to ask him about Katy Perry.
Well, then we saw
Yeah.
a ton of interviews where he's done podcasts where he's like
Yeah.
just being himself,
Yeah,
being,
yeah.
No rules, yeah.
being a different version, being Dale D'Antoni, another persona he has, being Riff Raff, not being Riff Raff,
And they
Riff
were-
Raff with cornrows,
yeah.
Riff Raff with a mullet.
One of my favorite ones recently is I had Cone McCallan, I think, from Sum 41 in.
No,
Oh,
And
nice.
I spent about 10 minutes talking to him about why he pees sitting down. And he got done. He's like, I can't believe we talked about that. Like, I've never obviously
Maybe
had
he's
that come up during
obviously
an interview.
wanted to talk
and
about
the,
that.
the answer was so sweet. It was because he has a daughter and a wife, and he doesn't want to get pee on the seat. And I'm like, dude, that's so
God,
nice.
This guy's a real
He has-
patriot.
he
This
has-
guy's a hero.
Oh, he has feelings, you know. He's just that's the kind of conversations I have.
That
on this
was
show.
a lie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, that's not punk rock.
Well, he's not really that. No, they
How
kinda-
old
their-
is he?
Their
Because
heart's in the right
He
place.
said his-
43.
Yeah, I was
All
going to
right,
say
Yeah.
well,
his 30s.
I know why because more
'Cause
comes
you did
out.
too?
He's a
They know
tickler.
that.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
isn't it easier?
Yeah, yeah. It becomes like,
I,
in the
no,
middle
I
of
don't.
the
I
night.
stand.
In the
I
middle
stand.
of the night.
I stand in the middle of
also.
the night.
That's why I ask, because I'm a stander also.
You want to know why?
Even in
You-
the
middle-
night?
In the night.
Yeah,
You want to
absolutely.
know why?
Why?
Because I'm so up in my brain about the prostate thing that I stand like it's almost like I
I
have
can still do it.
Right. She's right.
Is that better for your prostate?
No, I just do
Oh.
it because I'm like, as long as I'm standing and still doing it, then I'm goddamn still doing it.
I don't think I can
Patriot.
change at this point. That's
Yeah,
why
I'm
I
a
do it.
patriot. I'm a peeing patriot.
You're an American hero.
I'll let him take the prostate out of my cold dead.
I am the Charlton Heston of prostates, and I stand. And then if my wife, I'd rather pee on my, I'd rather stand and pee than die on my knees or whatever the old thing was at the Alamo.
Well, Peter, thanks so much for
Yeah,
Thank you.
today.
It's
you
been
did
fun.
a wonderful job,
Yeah.
dude.
Thank
Like,
you.
I mean,
I
I
like
told
the-
you he'd do a great job.
I like that they weren't the standard question. I assumed they were going to be like,
Yeah, that's your specialty, right? Like of asking
I,
weirdo
the
questions.
theme of the podcast is asking smart people stupid questions since
Yeah.
2015.
2015.
I like that.
Yeah.
oh, it's good. And where can people find Scotch and Good Conversation?
The best bet is to go to scotchandgoodconversation.com and take a look around. Odds are you will recognize somebody I talk to. I don't get slackers. And if you want some bonus behind the scenes stuff, go to patreon.com/scotchandgoodconversation. A lot of my guests will answer additional questions over there, available only for the drunken ambassadors of good conversation. And there's blogs and naked pictures of me and pictures of my dog and stuff like that.
All right.
And naked pictures of him with his dog.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Literally. Yeah.
Well, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to replay the Travis Pastrana interview. And then you'll hear some of my best work.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Bye-bye.